Shalom Shalom Aleichem. This is a video for those who are now beginning to learn classical Hebrew. We will be discussing vowel sounds. The PDF from which I am using will be in the comment section, pinned. Let us commence. Vowel sounds. The three primary vowel sounds are A, I, and U, pronounced A, I, U, and these may be either long or short. Though it would be scientifically more accurate to begin with the short vowels, let us begin for convenience sake with the pure long vowels. The vowels of a Hebrew word are, as we shall see, capable, in certain circumstances, of great transformation. The essence of a pure or naturally long vowel is that it cannot, under any circumstances, be modified. For example, the O in kotel is a pure long vowel. That is, nothing can happen to the word. Example, the addition of a suffix can in any way affect the length or quality of the O, which remains through all possible transformations of the word unchangeable. Syllables which etymologically would involve the diphthongal formations I for an original I or aw from an original aw are generally written instead with e and o. The vowel o is not always diphthongal in origin, but may be long in its own rights, corresponding with the Arabic a in cognate words. So Hebrew shalom, same as salam. Hebrew kotel, katilu, same as stone and stan for Old English. Thus the pure long, including the diphthongal vowels, are a, e, I, o, u, all unchangeable and indicated in transliteration by the circumflex accent. This is the circumflex accent right there, this little pointed figure. The pure long a is much the least common. Think of the pure long vowel as being ya. He is unchanging, pure, natural. Now for the tone long vowels. In contrast to the pure long vowels, which, as we have seen, are long by nature and unchangeable, are the so-called tone long vowels, which are long only because they happen to be where they are, and which, when their place shifts, no longer remain long. To understand this, it is necessary to remember that by tone or accent is meant the stress of the voice, and the tone syllable is the syllable of the word on which the stress falls. In Hebrew, as a general rule, the last syllable. So if I say Torah, the stress lays on the last syllable, ra. Okay, Torah. That's usually how it goes. Think of the tone long syllable as the ish. Anything ish is kind of sort of like leading to may not be, shapeshifter. Think of it as that. Ya, pure, unchanging. And then the ish, you have the tone long vowel. Changes whenever the wind pleases. In the noun present, the first syllable is the tone syllable. So you present. Notice how the tone is present. In the verb present, it is the last. Now the great strength of the tone in Hebrew, besides demanding for the tone syllable as a very general rule, a long vowel has the further curious effect of lengthening where possible. This reservation will be readily understood when we reach section 6. The vowel of the preceding syllable. These vowels, thus long or lengthen, are known as tone-long vowels. Now, because in Hebrew you have changing syllables, the syllables either become longer or they drop. Okay? That's what they mean by this. Thus, neither of the vowels in davar, notice is D-A-B-H-A-R, remember the B-H will be V and not B. Davar, right here, Dalis Beis Resh, davar, meaning word or thing, is pure long. Both are tone long. Okay, so it's neither pure long. I will paint a picture better for you. Dalet Beis Resh. Now, when you come upon this list, this diagram of the different syllables, this will hopefully match. Okay? So you have the var. The plural of this is singular. Okay? Singular meaning one. This is plural, meaning more than one. Devarim. 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 Okay? So, this has changed. This hasn't. But when you have a construct, like if I wanted to say words of, things of, it will be divrei. So notice how this changes now. So has the daleth. The daleth and the beth have changed. The daleth has changed. The beth hasn't. So this is not pure. Neither is this. Okay? So that's what they mean by pure and then tone long vowels. The latter is long because being in the last syllable, it bears the accent, and the former is obliged to be long because it falls immediately before the toned syllable. The first vowel, of course, need not be a. It might conceivably be e or o, but it must be long. A short vowel in this place would be inconceivable. That is the rule in classical Hebrew, okay? And classical Hebrew is all about rules. And the thing is, you have to learn all of them. You don't have to learn all of them at once, of course not. But gradually, you will learn by experience. The moment, however, the word receives an addition, one or both vowels will be instantly transformed. Example, divrei. Now, I showed you this before, but I will show it again. So you have divrei. You have davar. So, divrei, davar. Notice how these two have changed. Look here and look there. So you have let me write this. Divre davar. What has changed here? The daleth has changed. The beth has changed. And then you have an addition here. Okay? So Hebrew is about adding and subtracting. What has been added will something else will be subtracted. Okay, in its place. This is tone long, not pure. Pure never changes. Remember, ish change, ya doesn't. Okay, so let's reread. So divre, where the first vowel has changed and the second almost vanishes, in a way to be explained in section 6. Similarly, the of kotel almost vanishes in the plural kotelim. So again, you have kotel, kotelim. Now in the Tanakh, it will be this way. And this one will be this way. Okay, kotel and kotelim. Kotel, kotelim. Notice how the O for kotel never changes. Notice, but the for the teeth does. Notice, and then you have an addition. So the O and the in the word kotel happily illustrate the difference between a pure long and a tone long vowel. The tone long vowels are a, o, but not I nor U, written with the long mark. So this is the long mark to distinguish them from the pure long, which are written with the circumflex. Remember, the circumflex is like that, and then long. Circumflex, long. So in Hebrew, everything is about distinguishment. It's the same thing when Yah created everything. He had to distinguish light from day, man from woman, and each animal. Okay? Distinguishment is necessary. Of course, the vowel of the last syllable may, etymologically, be pure long in its own right. Example, gazol, asir. And this should be ashir. Indistinct vowels. The great strength of the tone in Hebrew has the further curious effect of reducing. Where possible, this reservation will be readily understood when we reach section 6. The vowels before the pretone to a swift and somewhat indistinct sound, which approximately corresponds to the in the word the. So this is negated, okay? And which is represented by the small e here, above the line. For example, the plural of davar, and we went and we did this, is devarim. So, if we go over again, we have davar, and then we have devarim. So you see the change. The last syllable has, as usual, the tone. The pretonic syllable has a tone long vowel, and the original long vowel, long in davar, because it was pretonic. Okay, pretonic is either on the first syllable or the second syllable. You'll understand pretonic, okay? These words here, just Google them, okay? And every book will have their own type of lingo. It's one thing that I've come to understand. Not everyone's on one accord. Now that it is two places from the tone vanishes in the indistinct eh. This, of course, can never happen where the first vowel is pure long. Example, okay, chochav could never become kechochav, no, kechavim, but only kochavim. I don't like these transliterations. So let me make it simple. So you have this. This is kochav in Hebrew. Kochav is star. Wow. Okay, here we go. And then you have kochavim, stars. This is the plural. Kochavim. Kochav. What they're saying is it will never be kechavim. This ko here is, what did I say? Pure long vowels are. It's like ya, unchanging. So ya doesn't change, but everything else after does. Okay? Ko chav. Ko chav. The under here is not pure. It is tone. Because when you want to say stars of, you have the pure, and then let's get another color. You have him here alone, and let's get another color, and then you have that. So this becomes koch, and this is actually one here. Let me do this over for you so I don't confuse you. Okay, so ko chav, koch chavim, koch ve. This is, in actuality, this is one here and two here. I try splitting it up to show you a difference, but I don't think that's gonna work out. So let's put this there. So we have one, this is pure here. Let me make this. These two are pure. All together, you have, it stops. This stops. Koch ve. Some say koch ve, but koch ve. So you have pure, you have an tone long, unpure-ish, and then you have an addition. Ko will always be pure. Let's get that. This will always be pure. So this will never change, no matter what. So if I want to say Kochvi, my star, this will always be O. Kochvi, Kochva, Kochvo. Kochvo is his star. Notice how it never changes. But every other syllable changes. Like when I say go, going, there's an addition, but there's no subtraction in English. In Hebrew, there is a lot of subtraction, or you can say reduction. Okay? They are tone shifts. Hebrew is ever changing in, it's like music. Okay? So, but only kochavim, as I stated, through bocher, which only with only a tone long o, naturally becomes becharim. Bocher is morning. Becharim, mornings. So let's see that example here. In modern Hebrew, one would write it this way, because this can be bachar, a verb, and bachar, a noun. So to make it unambiguous, the wow has been added. This is just a side note for you, okay? So, bocher. And then you have becharim. Bo, this o, is not pure. Why? This is change. Becharim. So none of these syllables here are pure. Pure never changes. Keep saying ya, never change. Pure never changes. Okay? Becharim. Change, change, change. When this indistinct sound is attached to one of the four guttural letters, aleph, he, chiyuf, and ayin, those are guttural, meaning it comes from the throat. It becomes more distinct, and definite vowels are written less distinct than full vowels, but more distinct than the indistinct vowel, which follows the ordinary consonants. We'll break this down even further, okay? These vowels are transliterated by the smaller signs above the line. Thus, hamor, emor, and choli. Okay, I will write that for you. You have hamor. This is and this is male. Then you have what else do we have? Choli. Okay, so these here will be transliterated with these signs. Again, I personally do not like transliterations because each book has its own way in writing it. So I understand it up to a certain limit. In spite of the identity of transliteration, there is, as we shall see in section 8, no possible confusion between the here with gutturals. Sorry about that. With gutturals and the other. Pure short vowels now. The three primary pure short vowels are A, I, U. A could be deflected into E. For example, A in many and catch for catch. And even the I as instant in careless speech becomes instant. I could be deflected into E as kitchen in careless speech becomes kitchen. As I stated before in the other video, depending on from whence you came, where you were reared, the way you speak, your speech patterns change. Okay, so again, if I'm from the south, if I'm from the north, then I will have a different speech pattern. The vowels that I produce will be different. Same thing if you're from the West Indies, same thing if you're from the UK, if you're from Africa, it'll be different. If you're from Europe, it'll be different. Okay? And U, the U, into O, the root, khudsh, seen in El Khudz, the modern Arabic name of Yerushalayim, becomes with suffix kodsh. But these ball statements can hardly be understood till we come to the study of actual words, which I've showed you. But we will get into this a bit more in depth later on. The short vowels are therefore E, I, O, and U, and in transliteration receive no accentual mark. So it'll be just like this, okay? And those are the short vowels. It's for you to become acquainted rapidly, okay? Because you can look at the, and when I started, I looked at the signs more often, and I can pick up. But when I heard it, it took me a minute to understand, because I wasn't used to hearing it. Okay? I was so used to reading and writing it that hearing it is like it became foreign. So I had to venture out and do my own thing in order to start becoming acquainted with the vowels when it's heard. Okay? And again, you usually do this by either watching dramas, watching documentaries within the language, okay? Or you pick up on YouTube speech patterns that are colloquial, okay, instead of written. Because very few people speak correct in any language, okay? We pick up either poor habits in speech, and then we have to correct that when we're writing. And no one is, privy to failing. Vocalization. All the Semitic alphabets consisted originally of consonantal signs only. So section 1 and 1, we went through that. In course of time, the need, or at least the desirability, of expressing in some way the vowels of a word came to be felt. To meet this need, instead of adding new letters to the alphabet, 3 of the existing consonants, you have the he, wow, and yod, were drawn upon to represent certain vowels. As these signs, however, were not now exclusively reserved to represent vowels, but could still retain their full consonantal force, this device might be supposed to lead to confusion. In point of fact, this is not so, for as every Hebrew syllable must begin with a consonant. So, if by them saying that, this is what they mean. So if I have the word, this word, right? Now, if I take this away, this is an impossibility. The vowels cannot be sounded until you have a consonant. It's the same thing when you're speaking in whatever language that you speak as your mother tongue. If you speak English, if I wanted to say father, I cannot start to say father unless I have the consonant first. So the F is the consonant. The A is the vowel. One cannot speak without vowels. This is why I go back to say, if you think that all of the vowels are just A and I and E, it's an impossibility. Linguistically, it's impossible. One must distinguish words, mood, and voice. One cannot do that if you have everything sounding the same. It'll be too harmonious. And you can't have that in a language. In order for me to inflect, to reflect, you have to have a change. And I said before, Ya is about making distinguishments, and that goes to language as well. Okay? So father, the F is the consonant. The A here is the vowel. And then you have TH, consonant. So let's do this. We have consonant, consonant. We have vowel, vowel. And then we have, not you, consonant. To close this off. So consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay? It's the same thing in Hebrew. You have davar. So with davar, you have the daleth here. This is what? Well, actually, let's do this in the same color. So you have consonant, the daleth. Then you have the vowel. Vowel, vowel. Consonant, consonant, and then you have consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel. Consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel. That's how it is, okay? In point of fact, this is not so, for as every Hebrew syllable must begin with a consonant. If these letters appear at the beginning of a syllable, they are necessarily consonantal. They will, with one or two trifling exceptions, be vocalic. Vocalic just means vowel. Only at the end. In yam, yod and mim, example, the yod is consonantal. Yam. In mem yod, it is a vocalic, mi. Similarly, he and mem is hem, but mem and he is ma. I'll give you an example. So you have yam, ma, hem, and mi, right? These here are the vowels. Our forefathers never wrote the vowels. So this could mean anything. I can do this also. So actually, let's do this. This will be my, this will be him, this will be mo, this will be yem. Right? So I can switch out these vowels at any time at my disposal. So how did we differentiate what was what? It's dependent heavily upon what preceded it and what followed. Okay? That's how you'll know. When it's just one word like this, you might have to go off of what's in your memory. Okay? So this, I know that I've seen this before. It's usually yam. I know what this could be. It's usually ma, me, or ma. I know what this could be. This usually is him. I know what this is. This is me. It could be me as well. It could be my. But it's, again, when it's just by itself, I have more ambiguities. I have more options to pick. This is why when you add another word, mi'u, who is he? I already know this is me. This is not going to be mehu. That doesn't make sense. Now if I do this, let's see. Okay. Mehayaor. Waters of the Nile. I know this is not who is the Nile. That usually doesn't come up or crop up in sentences. Unless it, in a conversation, I'll understand. But written, this doesn't make sense. Okay? So that's how we understood without vowels. We spoke more than wrote. Now in modern Hebrew, you have tons of vocabulary words. How do they differentiate? Through time, you understand, number one. Number two, they use these vowels. They use these consonants as vowels. There we go. Okay? We will get more into this when we get deeper. Okay? But this is how we understand without these vowels. For those of you who are wondering. Mi hayaor. Let's go back. Here, the last he represents a vowel, but the first is a consonant. This, however, is perfectly natural, as the root verb from which this noun comes is hafach, where he coming first must be a consonant. Always starts out with a consonant. Period. Full stop. On account of their being used to indicate vowels, the letters he, waw, and yod have sometimes been called vowel letters or vocalic consonants, also matriz lecciones. I like this. It is altogether reasonable that these letters should be reserved to indicate only important vowels. That is no longer such, at least in modern Hebrew. Important vowels? No, not at all. Classical Hebrew? Yes. Generally speaking, therefore, they are never used to indicate short vowels. In the few cases where this happens, it is considered an anomaly, and attention is called to it in a footnote to the Hebrew text. It would not be even conceivable that they should be used to indicate the indistinct vowel. This one right here, we'll see what that is. They represent, therefore, the long vowels. You'll see what the long vowels are. And broadly speaking, the pure unchangeably long rather than the tone long. This, too, is eminently reasonable, that the vowels most deserving consonantal representation are those which, like the consonants, form an integral and immovable part of the word. Okay? So we will find out more about this. This is, again, just glossing over it. You will, as we continue to read, we will go more in depth. The following is the usage when the consonants in question are used to represent vowels. So I will say this again. These consonants that you see, the he, the yod, and the waw, are no longer in modern Hebrew used as important vowels. They are used indiscriminately throughout written text. He represents chiefly the long a, as in ah. Yod represents the long I, as in e, or the long e, as in e. Waw represents the long o, as in o, or the long u, as in oo. Those are long vowels, okay? Thus, independently of the special system which was later devised for the accurate representation of the vowels, we know that mem he is ma, lamed yod is li or le, lamed waw is lo or lu, samech waw samech yod is suse or susi. Only a knowledge of the language, of course, will enable us to decide between these possibilities, as I was saying to you. But within these narrow limits, words containing long vowels may be accurately read. So this is how we form a strong basis in the language, okay? You have to understand certain rules in the beginning when you're developing your mind. Right? So, long vowels, short vowels. Then you have the pure long vowels, and you have the tone long vowels, right? But though he represents, as a rule, long a, it does not follow that every long a should be represented by he. In point of fact, this distinction is reserved only for a long a at the end of a word. Example, susa. But davar and even kamim, similarly, at the end of a word. So susa, notice how this, you'll have the long a, right? You have kamim here. And then you have davar. They're tonal long, meaning that they can change. Similarly, at the end of a word, all the other long vowels, e, o, and u, are regularly represented by a consonant, kami, or kame. This is what you will call an open syllable. We'll get more into that. Open syllable, closed syllables. Okay? And then you have kamo or kamu here. Ka, that is a long vowel. U, that is a long vowel. A, o, u, and then you have e as well. When any of these four long vowels, however, occur in any other place, than at the end, a distinction is usually drawn between the pure long and the tone long vowels. Broadly speaking, the tone long vowels are not represented by a consonant, while the pure or naturally long vowels are, like levav, where the e is only tone long and changeable. So, levav is this way. Levav. Levav. Okay. Capable of vanishing into this sign. Remember the transliterated version. I like to write it this way for ambiguity's sake. I should say unambiguity's sake. So, le vav. Okay? Next. Whereas shira, where the I is pure long and consonant. So let's go back here. So we have shira. Now if this is a feminine version of the word, okay? So we have shira. The I is pure long and consonant. True. Now if I want to write my song, it'll be shirathi. Notice how this has not changed. This hasn't either. The rish and the kamis here that you see. We'll get into more of that a little later. But there's an additive right here, the suffix. This changes. The he changes. If I want to say songs or poetries, it is, and let me change this since this changes. She, roth, shiroth, never changing, like ya, pure. This ish, switching, changing, shapeshifter. Shiroth. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So, bocher, where the O is tone long and unchangeable, but kochav, where the O is pure long and unchangeable. Though the usage is to represent the pure long vowel consonantally, this is not invariable. Example, kitor may also be written kitor or even kitor. Notice how it becomes more and more ambiguous. Okay, so this yod, I already know it could be K, it could be Kai, which usually it's not. It usually starts off ki. Ki, E, that E sound is long. Remember I said, and we read, that it usually starts off, a word usually starts off with a long vowel. Usually. Okay? Ki, tor. This here is the best way of writing it for unambiguity. Okay? And this here, still fine, which I like that one the best. This here is very difficult. And I still don't know why we continued doing this. I haven't a clue. Okay. Then this, and then let's do this here. Okay, look at that. You can read this, even though some people, think that it's ugly, and at times I do. This one is more compact. It looks prettier. This one, what was done, this is just a footnote for modern Hebrew. You'll add the vowel, just one vowel, and you'll understand it. It's easy. Ki, tor. With this, okay, with the what's this then? It's like a guessing game. You will have to be so familiar with the language. That's why I'm saying speaking first is necessary. Then the writing comes. Okay? And I didn't learn Hebrew that way. I had to write it first, and then speak. But naturally, you have to speak first. What did Yah do first? He spoke, and then things came into fruition. Right? So one can say that about language as well. So, kotel, right here, it's one as the other. But it is an almost invariable usage that the merely tone-long vowels does not have consonantal representation. Example, you have levav, could not be li-vav. This is incorrect. So for kotel, we may not write kotel. This wouldn't make sense, or this wouldn't make sense. As you continue to become more and more experienced in Hebrew, you'll naturally understand why this doesn't make sense at all. Okay? Le, no. Li, no. Le, yes. Without this yod there. I would look at this here and think, levav? This doesn't make sense. Why is this like that? I will look at this one here and think kotil. That's not a word. I don't know what that means. Okay? If you go up to an Israeli, they would not know the ins and outs of this. Same thing if you come to an American or anyone who speaks English and you ask them about grammatical rules, they 90% wouldn't know. Okay, I mean, these things you learn in school and then you forget because it becomes second nature to you. You feel it. But it's good that we can learn, we know, and then we teach it to our offsprings, and then they know instinctively what to say. Somebody has to hold the burden more than everyone else, right? But it's just good to know. This should be inherent. Okay, this should be part of you. Okay, so there's more here, and I have to go through this one. Let's just see. You know what? Let me skip this one and then go to here. So this is the graph, the chart that I have to teach you. So let me pause. So here we have the table of external vowel signs or Masoretic points. So let's start off with the long vowels, since that's what we learned first. We have here ah, next e, below it e, next oo, next below it o. So the first one we have here is chamis. Chamis, okay? As in kaf, not calf. This is not the American vowel. It's more like the British. Kaf, okay? So we say it as kham. Next word, davar. Ah, okay? Next, we have hirek or hirik, as in ravine. Ravine. An example would be chasid. Chasid. Below it, we have a, as in pain, and that is known as serei. Serei. Remember the sadi? Serei. Serei. Okay. as in hik, hik. Next, kaved, kaved. We have the shuruk or shurek, and that's like true, true. Ooh, next we have the kibus or kubus. Ooh, okay, as in kum. Other spelling here. Then you have holem, as in bone. Examples would be dor and hook, hook. That's it for the long vowels. Remember, a, e, o, u. Again, a, e, o, u. And those are the signs that you have to remember. This sign here, this sign for the, remember the sign go underneath the consonant. This sign here, this sign here, this sign here, this sign here, and that's it. Now let's go for the short vowels. Short vowels will be a, I, e, and o. The patah, pa, tah, as in fat, not as in the British fat, but the American fat. A, as in bad, bad. Next, we have the segol. I'll go at the bottom. We have the segol, as in pen. Remember, it's not pen, it's pen. The pain at the bottom here, we could keep going in. The pen. As in hel, qam. Hel, qam. Okay? Next, we have the hirek or hirik, as in pin, in, pin. And we have min here. Modern Hebrew, this will be min. Everything here is flattened out, okay? They just put A, E, I, O, U. Everything sounds a. Every a is a or a. Every e is e. Every o is o. Again, this is to make those who, of course, remember, they're coming from European countries. So because of that, they have to, again, the language has to conform to them. They do not conform to the language. And I will say this again, we made this was Semitic, so our thoughts, our feelings, the language is connected to us. But with them, you have an Indo-European language now, / Semitic. Next, we have the kamis hatuf or hatef, and this is as in on. This is no longer so in modern Hebrew. This is o. So this sounds like bone, but it's a. Next, we have the kibus or kubus, and this is as in put. Put. Okay? And this is, at the bottom here, is chodsham. Chodsham. This is mushlach. Mushlach. Okay, notice how I said it? Mushlach. Because of the long chamis, this long vowel here. I didn't say mushlach. Mushlach. So from here you have the indistinct vowels. A simple schwa, the var, comes from davar. So it reduces. So now it's devar, davar, devar, davar, devar. Okay? Next, you have the composite schwas. Composite schwas will be this one here. You have the hatif, patah, hatif, patah, and this is a short A sound, so it's a. This is a hatif segol, so this is e. This is a hatif chamis, and this is o. So we'll see it here. Sefaram. See it here. Yehezach. Yehezach. Okay? Next, you have Hozashim. Hozashim. Notice how I told you? This is a no. This is Elohim. It's not Elohim, Elohim, but Elohim. It's short, quick. These are what you call the indistinct vowels. So I hope this has granted you some type of lucidness in understanding how the vowels are. This is crucial. You have to learn this. In the beginning, yes. Do not move on until you've learned this, okay? Now, hopefully, if I have to look through this book and see again if they have the open and closed vowels, which I'm sure they have the open and closed vowels. So I'll look through it and we'll see. And yes, it's right here. So, external, what's happening? Oi. External vowel signs, the Masoretic points. This vocalic system, ingenious and comprehensive as it is, has one or two disadvantages, which, however, are more apparent than real. A. It does not distinguish between long I and short I. Trust me, it does not. Examples in Hishmidam. Hishmidam. The first I in Hish is short. Remember we said short is I as in pin. And while the second is long. So this will be me. Long. Me. As in ravine. But the explanation simply is that every Hebrew syllable must begin with a consonant, and the last syllable must therefore be them, not So this is not hishmidam, because this here could never be so. You can't have a closing here and there's a vowel. Consequently, the second syllable is not mid, but mi. So this is not mid. The schwa will close it off. Schwa closes a syllable. But mi. And then the first two syllables, and then to the first two syllables, we have simply to apply the rule that the vowel of an unaccented shut syllable. So if I say, I'll give you another example. This is where I differ so much in how this word is spoken. In modern Hebrew, this will be ishto, as in his wife. Ishto. In biblical Hebrew, how it should be said, and of course, there'll be naysayers, there'll be people who will be opposite of this. They would say that it's still ishto, it doesn't matter. Now, this will be ishto. The reason why they're saying that it's closed, okay, let's read it again. Okay, they're saying shut syllable, closed syllable. I'm used to hearing close and not shut. This is an older word. I know. Anyway, so then to the first two syllables, we have simply to apply the rule that the vowel of an unaccented shut syllable. Example would be one ending in a consonant. This is a consonant here. Remember, this shuts off. This is open because the vowel is there. Remember, consonant, vowel, this is open. Remember I said me, open. E, open. But then you have a closed syllable. And this becomes a consonant. So this is a consonant. It closes this. So if it's like you have a mouth, this comes in and does bang. Closes it off. Don't say anything. Open mouth, bang. Close your mouth. Okay? That's what it does. Open mouth, bang. I don't want to hear you. Okay? So that's when the E, remember it starts off with a long vowel. E becomes an I. So it's like I have my mouth open, a fly comes, E. You just shut up. It stops. So it's I, not E. Somebody has their mouth open, a fist comes. Bop. Shut up. Okay, so open mouth, bang. Don't want to hear you. So it's I. Okay, so where were we? Great. Therefore, the first I is short and the second long, and there is no real confusion. So this becomes hishmidam and not hishmidam. B. The risk of confusion, however, would seem to be much greater with the sign chamis, which may represent two vowels not only of different classes, first a as an a, and then third o, okay? But even of different quantity, long a and short o. Doubtless the reason for the identity of sign was the approximate similarity of sound between these two vowels, just as a in words like small is pronounced like o. And as in some parts of England, words like demand, command, as in the American, this is how, are pronounced not quite, but almost like demand, command, and not command, demand. Okay, with the O somewhat sustained, something like demand. Okay. It is convenient, however, for us to make a rather more definite distinction between the two sounds represented by chamis, by pronouncing the other one as a and the other one as o. So a and o. Okay, and it goes back to the hatif chamis. That's this one right here. So you have this, and then you have this. And sometimes you have this, where this is not made, this one here, they don't have the schwa, but it just looks the same. There's a rule to that. There's many rules, many rules, but please bear with me. So here, again, there is no real confusion, as there is always some feature of the Hebrew word which puts the quality of the vowel beyond doubt. Example, you have bokram. Bokram. The last kamis is ah, because the last syllable is accented. So we have Beth, Chof, Resh, Mem. The accent is on the Resh, the syllable here. Sorry. Bok Ram. Bok Ram. Okay. And therefore has a tone long vowel, therefore ah, while the vowel of the first syllable being shut and unaccented will be short. So o. Okay, not o, o. Bokram. Bokram. Notice I didn't say bokram. Bokram. There is o, holem, holem. This little dot is a holem. Even though it's a holem, it is short. So it's holem. Bochram. Not bochram. Bochram. I know it's a slight difference, and you really can't hear it. So I'll try again. So you have holem, bokram. That's wrong. You have the kamis. So this here will be here. If I had this here, it'll be wrong. If you guys understand. Okay, so this makes an O sound. Oh, let's go back up. And I know this is, let's see, clockwise. There we go. So notice here, you have the kames hatuf, hatif. This will be o, as in on. But notice how you have here, you have the holem, o. Holem, long. Then the kames hatuf, or hatif kames, you have the short o. So it's a. Let's go back. Trying to go as slow as possible. Okay, so we have it there. Bok, this here, wrong. Bok ram. Bok ram, not bok ram. Bok ram. Bok ram. Again, bok ram. Bok ram. So you have here lishpoch dam, Two words treated as one. Lishpoch dam. Now, the accent is right there. But because of this sign right here, the machif, this now is here. So this becomes lishpoch dam. You say it in one breath, lishpoch dam. Not lishpoch dam, lishpoch dam. Okay? The same principle essentially applies to wayakom. Notice how the kames here, and it's not a holem. In modern Hebrew, this will be a holem, okay? In classical Hebrew, there have to be a distinct sound. So remember I told you that there is a company called Vayakom. This is it. Wayakom. They pronounce it as a vav, not a wow. Vayakom is wayakom. Okay? So the accent mark is here. So because the accent mark is here, this here, the kames underneath the kof, is o. Wayakom. Remember, wherever the accent is, the next syllable will be what? Long. Okay, so the dot in the yod doubles it, hence ye. You have wayakom. Wayakom. Okay? Though, for a reason to be afterwards explained, the accent falls on the penult. And this is the penultimate. Okay? This symbol is open and accented. Therefore, the vowel must be long. The last syllable is shut and unaccented. Therefore, its vowel must be short. Okay? Thus, this part of the word could not be yokom, nor yokam, nor even yakam, but only yakom. Long and short signs. There are 5 short signs. You have the patah, you have the hirik, you have the kibus, you have the segol, and you have the kames here, and it's the kames chatef. And 5 long, viz. You have kames, you have hirik or hirek, you have the shuruch or shurech, then you have the kibus or kubus. You have the serei, you have the cholem. The pure long and the tone long A's are expressed by the same symbol. There is good ground for regarding the segol, though usually short, as in certain cases, a long vowel sometimes tone long, as in the first syllable of the words like melech. Melech, where is regularly takes the accent, sometimes pure long, arising out of I, like tivchena. Tivchena. Okay? Now, because of the yods here, and then you have the segol, this is a and not e. This lengthens it, and it becomes a. Remember, a is a long vowel. So you have a lengthener here. The yod becomes a lengthener to the segol. Segol is a short vowel. Not a, like the serei, the 2 dots. This. Because the yod here This makes this here, the segol is e. The yod lengthens the segol, so it's a now. So this is equal to this. A and not e. This is not equal to this when the yod is not present. Now when the yod is present with this, it is still a. Same thing with panecha. Panecha. Notice how I said it? Not panecha, but panecha. Tivkena. Tivkena. Short u is expressed by kibus, as in shulhan. Remember? You have this here, open your mouth, and then boop. Something closes it. Shulhan, not shulhan. In modern Hebrew, it's shulhan. Same thing with when you say hummus. Hummus. In modern Hebrew, it's hummus. Hummus. It's hummus. Hummus. Because it's a short vowel. Long U was usually already represented in the text by wow, in which a point was inserted, forming a shurich. I say shurich, a shuruch, as hum, pointed like this to arise, not this way. You will never have it that. You will have this though. And that is the long U. Okay? When wow was not already expressed in the text, the U was indicated by kibus or kubus as this. Now, remember I said this is ambiguous. This could be kam. It could be kum. This is not as ambiguous, okay? So this here, to make it u, will be this. To make this this will be that. Now, indistinct vowels. Indistinct vowels, schwa, simple, and composite. The name schwa was given to that indistinctest of all sounds resembling the swift e. Remember, in the. Its sign is this, right here, 2 dots. This schwa, which appears in many cases to have formerly been assimilated in sound to a neighboring vowel, like sezom. Sezom is, in Greek, this, whence comes our sodom, is now so indistinct that the class of vowel to which it belongs cannot be detected, and hence it is common to the 3 classes. The other 3 indistinct vowels approach so much towards distinctness that the class of vowel sound to which they belong could be detected, though they did not reach the rank of full vowels. They thus seem to stand midway between the simple schwa and true vowels, and are indicated by signs compounded of simple schwa and the 3 short vowels. So you have hatef patah, hatef segol, and hatef kames. And remember here, so you have o, you have e, and you have a. A, e, o. Elohim. A, e, o. Hence, they are often named composite schwas, being also vocalic sounds perceptively of the nature of the short vowels. They are often called swift or hurried short vowels. Hatef patah, hatef segol, and hatef kames. Okay? This peculiar degree of vowel sound was heard chiefly in connection with the consonants called gutturals. So hamor, not hamor, emor, not emor, and holi, not heli. And occasionally through, though rarely with others, examples were where a letter is followed by the same letter, as in anani, where ani might have been expected, but it's anani. The sign of the simple schwa is put under every consonant without a vowel of its own, if it be sounded and not final. We'll see this in section 5-6. The schwa in this position is called silent. I don't say silent, I say schwa. Well, it sorta is. Schwa, nah. That's schwa, nah. This means to rest, okay? It means rest. Schwa, nah. The other one here is schwa, nah. Schwa, nah. Schwa, nah. If you read in Hebrew the story of Cain, Abel and Cain, you will understand this. When Yah says na wanad, meaning na is move, nad is wander. So when he says na wanad, meaning you will walk around or walk about and move and walk about, move, walk about, move, walk about. So walking about is more of to and fro, back and forth. Okay? This represents na, to move. This represents rest. Okay? So the silent one is this, nah, resting. So you would not say it like this here, niktal, niktal. You wouldn't say nikatal. You wouldn't say nikatal, but niktal. The qaf has a schwa under it because, unlike nun and teif, it has no vowel of its own. Okay? On the other hand, lamed, though like qaf, it has no vowel of its own, it is written without the schwa because it is final. Anytime it's final, you don't have the schwa. Now remember, this is nik, tal, and not nik. Remember, this here is short because of the schwa. It cuts off. Remember, open your mouth, bang, close it. It is unfortunate the same signs, schwa, should be used to indicate both sound and silence. On the one hand, an indistinct vowel, on the other, merely the end of a syllable. But as we shall see, there is little possibility of confusion in practice. It ought to be remembered that two sounded or vocal schwa cannot come together. Example, such a form as devere is manifestly impossible. Therefore, when two schwas occur together, as in yiktelu, again, yiktelu, the first must be silent schwa ending the syllable yik, and the second the vocalic schwa beginning the new syllable telu, or perhaps even constituting by itself the second syllable te. So when you, this is only in, 1 second. Let's try it here. This is only in plural, and it's plural incomplete. So that's so-called future tense. So if I say, let's see, barah, and this is to escape, run away. When I add the yod and wow here, this is yivrehu. Yivrehu. This is they will run away. So-called future tense. Or they are running away. They have intentions to run away. They should run away. They would run away. They can run away. There are quite a few possibilities to this, but that's what it is. So you have the main or the root right here, the main, and then you have the prefix and suffix. He, they. Male, they. So they could encompass men and women. But this, when it's future tense, it's most likely men. Okay? Women have their own separate prefix and suffix when it's in the so-called future or incomplete tense. Position of the vowel sign. The vowel sign stands under the consonant after which it is pronounced, as in mar, bitter, namir, a leopard, with the exception of holem, which stands over the left corner of the consonant which it follows, as chok. Statute, katon, little or small, and the shurek or shuruk, which has the compound sign as sus, a horse. Final kaf occurs only with kamis and schwa, and these it takes in its bosom, not beneath it. You see how this is? Right here. Within the bosom, and not right here. So you have becha, and you have bach. Becha, bach. In the. A holem preceding shin coincides with its point, as in Moshe. Notice this right here. So you have mem, shin, he. This is mo, so it goes here. And then shin, remember sh, mo, she. So you read the consonant first, and then you read the vowel. So mo, down, and then over, she. Mo, she. So this looks appealing here. It looks pretty, right? Let's continue. But there is no possible ambiguity, for as the consonant mem at the beginning must have a vowel. Okay, it has to have a vowel. So it's like, where's the vowel? Well, the vowel's right here. It's right here. So it must have a vowel to follow it. And as none is visible, not even a schwa, the vowel must be concealed somewhere. It is really the vowel absorbed in the point of the shin. Similarly, a holem following sin coincides with its point, as in sonne. See, right here, so, ne. You already know that this here is sin. This is so as well, because there is no vowel underneath. Now, when it comes to when you're reading the Torah and the Tanakh without the vocalizations, it'll be just like this. You have to know much vocabulary. You have to know a lot about your vocabulary words, okay? You have to. But after a time, as you become more and more experienced, this will come more and more second nature to you, okay? Sonner, hating. So this is an easier way of writing it and understanding it. So, now this is O, long O, sonner. And this one right here, this is pure. This never changes. This isn't. This is pure. This is not. This is the ish. This is ya. Here again, there can be no dubity. The word could not be read as sine, which would be this way. The figure, this, sho, will be sho. Okay, so this is shin. Will be sho at the beginning of a syllable. And os elsewhere. As in shomer. Shomer. This will be that way. And when it's like this, it's this way. So because you don't see anything here, you'll be wondering, well, where is it? Is it C? It can't be C. It has to be sho. Can't be so, because why is there holem on top of this? So it's, oh, okay, so this is shomer. And it's just to make things look more presentable. Okay? Presentation counts. And shomer is keeper. This could not be osmer, for then we should have a word beginning with a vowel, which is impossible. Yirpos, he treads. There is no temptation to read the last syllable of the word as sho, for the pe could not then be construed in the word at all. The first syllable is manifestly yir. The pe must therefore begin a new syllable, and be accompanied, if not by a full vowel, at least by a sounded schwa. Schwa na. Okay, remember schwa na. Na because it moves. Schwa na. It rests, so it's silent. But there is no schwa, therefore the dot on the right tip of the shin here should be sin, indicates the vowel o, and the second syllable must be pos. Okay, so this is yer pos, because you have the o here, and then you have this here. It can't be yer posh, because you have this holem. So it's yir pos. I hope that makes sense. So let's write it. Yir, and then we have pos. Yir, po. So yir stops, and then we go on to pos. Is a dot. Holem right there. So again, come on. So consonant, vowel. Yir. Keep going. You stop because of this. This is like a wall. This is the silent schwa. Nah. You don't say yire. This is yir. Yir. Okay? Then you go on to the next consonant. Pos. Yirpos. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so we will continue this in the next video. This will be the second part. Shalom, shalom, alechem.